Welcome on board, chosen one. Look at you, walking in like you didn't just survive an entire season of people trying to tear you down. What they said about you didn't age well, did it? When they laughed, when they whispered, when they thought you were the easy target, the naive one, the nobody. Look who's suddenly confused now. Look who's squinting because your glow turned their shadows into a mirror they can't stand to look at. Look who's losing sleep because the universe decided to upgrade you right in front of the same people who tried to erase you. You feel that quiet shift, right? The air changed around you. People don't talk to you the way they used to. Even the ones who tried to pretend they didn't care are peeking at you out of the corner of their eyes like you became a walking plot twist. Your energy grew sharper, cleaner, louder, without you saying a single word. You didn't announce anything, you didn't brag, you didn't even try. You just kept growing, and now the same people who wanted you invisible are choking on the fact that you're suddenly the center of attention. The legend they once mocked. Now they do anything to stand where you're standing. Hit that like button and subscribe to pay this energy back and push this message to every chosen one who still hasn't realized their power yet. Let's continue. There's something wild happening inside you right now, and the people around you feel it before you do. That's the part that messes them up the most. You're walking into rooms and the whole atmosphere shifts, like the silence after a storm when the sky decides it's done playing nice. You're not being dramatic. This is what it looks like when someone who was underestimated gets aligned with the universe so cleanly that their presence becomes a warning. Your beauty isn't just looks, it's impact. It's that quiet pressure that makes liars look away and insecure people fidget because they don't know what changed, but they know it wasn't them. The universe is sharpening you with every experience they thought would break you. The pain you carried wasn't wasted. It molded you. It carved angles into your soul that can't be faked. People feel that now. They don't know whether they want to admire you or fear you, and honestly, both reactions are deserved. There was a time when you begged for certain people to see you. You tried to prove yourself. You doubted your worth because they treated you like you were replaceable. Remember that version of you? The one who believed what they said. The one who didn't see how dangerous your potential was. That version of you was still learning the rules of the game. Now you understand the game, and you play it better than them. Look at the pattern. They tried to dim you. Now they can't find a switch strong enough to handle your voltage. They tried to ignore you. Now they can't stop noticing you. They tried to walk away. Now they're circling back, pretending it was bad timing. They tried to make you doubt yourself. Now you're the one making them question everything. This is what happens when the universe decides you're ready. You don't glow from your skin. You glow from alignment, from healing, from clarity, from the quiet confidence of someone who walked through fire and realized the flames were actually training. Let me tell you a story you already know in your bones. Once upon a time, you lowered your light to make others comfortable. You softened your voice so they wouldn't feel threatened. You shrunk your dreams because you were scared of being too much. But the moment you stopped apologizing for existing, everything shifted. People who used to ignore you suddenly felt uneasy. People who used to talk over you started choosing their words. People who thought they had access to you without earning it realized the door was no longer open. That discomfort they feel, that tension in the air, that's their guilt meeting your growth. Every chosen one has a moment where they wake up and realize, I didn't change overnight, I just stopped hiding. This is yours. Beauty that comes from alignment shakes those built on illusions. You didn't become attractive because you changed your look. You became attractive because your spirit sharpened, your peace became louder, your confidence became quieter but stronger. You stopped chasing and started being, and nothing is more attractive than someone who is done begging for space and is now claiming it. People don't know how to handle someone the universe is backing. They try to understand you using old versions of you. They try to explain your glow like it's something external. They don't get that this beauty is internal, magnetic, and earned. They wanted you to disappear, and instead you became the plot twist. The universe is making you more attractive for a reason. Your story is entering a new chapter, and the world is finally reacting the way it should have from the beginning. Now, let's go even deeper. And listen, chosen one, I'm talking to you directly now. Don't look away. You can feel something calling you deeper into this, can't you? That quiet pull in your chest, that pressure in the air around you, that's the universe dragging you into the next level. If you're really aligned, if you're truly stepping into this new glow, then you already know this message is yours. So do something small but powerful. Drop a 777 in the comments. Not for luck, not for superstition, but as your signal to the universe that you're ready to own this new version of yourself. Ready to stop shrinking. Ready to let the glow rise without apology. Ready to accept that you've become too attractive for the small minds who tried to erase you. Hit the like button and subscribe if you can feel that shift in you. When you do, you're not following me. You're joining the other chosen ones who already woke up to their power. You're strengthening the voice that the world tried to silence. And trust me, if you're truly chosen, if this glow-up is already unfolding inside you, you won't even think about leaving. You'll feel the pull to stay until the very end. Now, let's go step by step. Number 1, stop letting yourself shrink. Funny how they called you too much, but now they choke on the fact that you were never small to begin with. You want brutal? Here it is, chosen one. They didn't try to humble you because you were wrong. They tried to humble you because your presence exposed everything they were pretending to be. They wanted you quiet because your voice revealed their insecurity. They wanted you dim because your glow uncovered their fraud. Every insult, every laugh behind your back, every slick little comment they made was nothing but fear wearing a cheap costume. They weren't mocking you, they were panicking. And now they're dealing with the consequences of betting against someone the universe was busy upgrading in silence. Let's talk truth. You've been outgrowing rooms you used to beg to enter. That's the part that stings them. You were never meant for their background. You weren't born to be an accessory in someone else's ego. But they pushed you into corners, didn't they? Told you to calm down, be realistic, stop being dramatic. Translation, please don't rise, because if you rise, we'll have to face the fact that we never could. And look at you now, rising, sharpening, becoming attractive in a way that cuts through their illusions. They said you were dreaming too big, but now they study you like a problem they can't solve. They said you were nothing special, yet somehow you're the one they can't stop checking on in silence. Isn't it wild? The same people who told you your glow didn't matter are the ones now squinting because your light doubled, tripled, and burned through the lies they used to keep you small. And let's be honest, didn't you feel it? That moment when your energy shifted? When the universe flipped a switch inside you? When you walked into a room and people suddenly watched you without knowing why? That wasn't luck. That was alignment. You stopped apologizing. That's what triggered the chaos. You stopped shrinking yourself to make them feel secure. You stopped pretending you were less than what you are. And because of that, every insecure person who once fed on your silence is now choking on your evolution. They didn't expect your confidence to come back stronger. They didn't expect your aura to get cleaner. They didn't expect your presence to hit like truth they can't escape. And now you're asking yourself, why did they hate when I played big? Why did my happiness bother them? Why did my peace make them uncomfortable? Easy, because your rise meant they had to confront their own stagnation. Your glow reminded them of everything they refused to become. You are the mirror they didn't ask for, but desperately needed. And mirrors, they make liars nervous. But here's the twist. You didn't need to fight them. You didn't need to clap back. You didn't need to expose them. Your glow is doing the job for you. Your silence is doing the job for you. Your growth is dragging their ego into a courtroom where the only evidence is the truth they tried to bury. Ever notice how quiet your enemies got? That's not peace. That's fear. That's them realizing your energy is beyond their reach now. See, you're attractive in a way they can't copy. Not with makeup, not with clothes, not with fake confidence or social media poses. You're attractive because your vibration is clean, cleaner than their motives ever were. You carry pain like armor. You carry truth like a blade. You carry self-respect like a badge they can't earn. People feel that when you walk by. They feel it in your silence. They feel it in your presence. Let me paint this clearly. Think of the times you were broken, the moments you cried alone, the nights where you questioned everything. Those moments sculpted you, sharpened you, carved you into something rare. While they were laughing, you were learning. While they were plotting, you were glowing up. While they were messing with you, the universe was marking you. And now, you're the storm. You're the unexpected twist in their script. You're the living proof that people can't stop what the universe already decided. You're not just attractive, you're magnetic. You're not just glowing, you're undeniable. Your presence speaks louder than their lies ever could. And let's address the questions still whispering in your mind. Why me? Why did the universe choose me to rise like this? Because you were never meant to play small. Because you were built with layers they will never understand. Because you carry a frequency that wakes people up or exposes them. There is no in-between. You are not here to fit in. You are here to stand out. And the ones who can't handle that, they're simply allergic to truth. Your elevation is not an accident. Your glow is not a trend. Your attraction isn't about looks. It's energy, alignment, purpose. You're what happens when someone stops shrinking and starts becoming. They never expected you to rise like this, and now they can't stop watching. So step out of that small box they tried to trap you in. Step into the space that was always meant for you. Because the universe didn't invest this much power in you for you to play small. You don't command attention, you command reality. And trust me, they feel it. They all feel it. Number 2, you've become the storm they can't outrun. They wanted you predictable. Now they panic because you don't move on their script anymore. Funny how they said you were too emotional, and now they're the ones shaking. They tried to read you like a book, but you became a whole new language. They mocked your silence, never realizing it was the sound of power growing. Imagine this. The same people who once treated you like a backup plan now freeze the second you walk into a room. They feel that shift in your energy, that heavy, quiet pressure that announces you before you even speak. You used to shrink around them, worried about their opinions, afraid of being too much. Now, they're the ones shrinking. You didn't become the villain, they just finally realized you were never the side character. You're the storm they can't predict, the plot twist they didn't see coming, the unexpected force that rewrote the story without asking for permission. Let's break this down, because your mind might still be whispering questions. Why do they act weird now? Why do people who once ignored me suddenly pay attention? Why does my presence make them uncomfortable? Here's the raw truth. Your energy leveled up, and their masks didn't. You stopped chasing approval, and that stripped them bare. In a world full of fakes, you walk like truth with legs. That alone makes you dangerous. Not because you're trying to intimidate anyone, but because your authenticity exposes the weakness of their performance. Imagine a room full of actors rehearsing their roles, clinging to scripts that make them feel important. Then you walk in. No script, no mask, no rehearsed lines, just presence, just depth. Just that unshakable energy that says, I know who I am now. They can't compete with that. They can't predict that. You're not the storm that destroys. You're the storm that reveals. You used to beg for clarity. Now your silence is the clarity. You used to chase closure. Now your glow is the closure. You used to overthink every move. Now they overthink you. That's evolution. That's the universe flipping the power dynamic so gently that you didn't even notice it happening. One day you woke up, felt different, stood different, breathed different, and boom, the whole world shifted. They'll say you changed. They'll call you cold, distant, difficult, intimidating. But let's get something straight. This isn't distance. It's depth. This isn't coldness. It's clarity. This isn't arrogance. It's awareness. Deep souls always scare shallow people. Always. Imagine standing at the edge of the ocean. Shallow waters are loud, messy, chaotic. But the deeper you go, the quieter it gets. That's you now. Depth over noise, peace over approval, awareness over attention. You're not distant, you're selective, you're not quiet, you're observing, you're not detached, you're protecting your energy from people who didn't earn access to you. Let me hit you with a truth people don't like hearing. Most of them miss the older version of you because that version didn't know how powerful they were. That version tolerated disrespect. That version explained themselves too much. That version overgave, overtrusted, overloved. This version, the one standing here now, the one listening to this message, this version is aligned. This version is attractive for real. This version burns through illusions like sunlight on fog. You didn't glow up. You grew through. That's the difference. Anyone can glow up on the outside. Anyone can copy a style, mimic confidence, fake happiness. But not everyone grows through the fire. Not everyone comes back stronger, cleaner, sharper. Your magnetism didn't come from makeup or clothes or luck. It came from survival. It came from long nights no one saw. It came from the moments where pain tried to break you, but instead it shaped you. Your power was forged in rooms where you cried quietly, in spaces where you felt alone, in phases where you questioned everything. While they were laughing, you were learning. While they were playing, you were evolving. While they were pretending, you were becoming. Now they don't know what to do with you. How do you predict a storm that doesn't follow the old rules? How do you control someone who stopped needing approval? How do you manipulate a person who finally sees through your patterns? They call you different like it's an insult. But let's be honest, it's jealousy, it's fear, it's recognition. People can sense when someone's vibration rises above the level they're stuck in. Your presence feels like judgment to them, even when you're silent. They don't see your peace. They feel their guilt. They don't feel your glow. They feel their lack. Another question you might be asking yourself: why does my energy feel heavier, stronger, more intense lately? Because you've stepped into the stage of your life where the universe stops protecting your feelings and starts protecting your purpose. It trims people without warning. It exposes motives without mercy. It clears your path by removing those who blocked it. That's why your presence hits different now. You're backed by something bigger than their opinions. Imagine a lamp and a lightning bolt. The lamp glows, but it needs a power source. The lightning bolt is the power source. You're the bolt now. Uncontrollable, unpredictable, undeniable. While they gossip, your energy rises. While they stare, your purpose expands. While they doubt, the universe moves mountains for you. You're no longer reacting to their noise. You're ahead of it. You're above it. You've outgrown the frequency where their opinions mattered. You've become attractive in a way they can't imitate. You carry wisdom that wasn't taught. It was earned. You walk with calmness that isn't practiced. It's natural. You radiate confidence that isn't loud. It's rooted. Imagine standing in a storm and instead of running for shelter, you realize the lightning is coming from you. That's who you are now. The storm they can't predict, the presence they can't copy, the mystery they can't decode. And here's the part that scares them the most. You don't need to defend your glow anymore. You don't need to explain your energy. You don't need to justify your elevation. Your existence is the explanation. Your silence is the evidence. Your growth is the comeback. Your glow is the revenge. They're watching you like a weather alert now. Eyes on you. Nervous, curious, fascinated, anxious. You're unpredictable in the best possible way. You're what happens when a chosen one stops begging and starts becoming. You've become the storm they can't forecast, can't outrun, can't deny. And the universe, it's still leveling you up. They haven't seen anything yet. Number 3. Real doesn't chase, it commands. They called you too real until they realized your honesty was the mirror they were scared to look into. You're not magnetic because you're trying to be. You're magnetic because you stopped playing along. When the world bends itself into shapes it doesn't even believe in, you stay solid. While everyone else zigs and hides behind filters, fake confidence, borrowed opinions, recycled personalities, you zag. You walk in as yourself, and somehow that's the loudest thing in the room. People who rely on masks don't know what to do with someone who walks in without one. Imagine a masquerade party, everyone blending in, everyone comfortable in their illusions. Then you show up, not with a mask, not with a script, just presence. Suddenly, the room tenses. Why? Because authenticity burns through costumes, even when you're silent. That's you now. You used to worry about fitting in, but now fitting in feels like shrinking. And you're done shrinking. You went from too much to teach me how you do it. You went from weird to I wish I had that kind of courage. You went from outsider to blueprint, because realness always becomes the reference point once the noise dies down. People admire you in public because it makes them look good. People envy you in private because you expose what they refuse to become. And maybe you're wondering, why do people stare at me differently now? Why do they copy my vibe but not acknowledge it? Simple. They can mimic your words but not your alignment. They can copy your style but not your frequency. They can perform confidence but not embody it. Your existence triggers awakening without you even trying. You didn't survive everything you went through to blend into backgrounds that never deserved you. You radiate because you're real. You stand out because you're aligned. Authenticity doesn't compete. It just wins quietly and permanently. Number 4. Your presence exposes everything they hid. They don't act strange around you. They act strange around the truth you make them face. You don't walk in trying to impress anyone, yet somehow the whole room glitches the second you show up. That isn't attention, it's collision. Your aura hits people like a flashlight in a dark room. Suddenly, every mask, every fake smile, every hidden motive gets highlighted. You're not trying to make anyone uncomfortable, but realness has side effects. And one of them is exposure. Imagine walking into a space where everyone is used to lying to themselves. Then you show up, calm, grounded, present. No performance, no pretending, just truth in human form. Of course, they forget how to act. Your energy rearranges rooms without you lifting a finger. People who spent years running from themselves can't stand in front of someone who stands firmly in their own identity. You didn't become healing on purpose. You became healing because you stopped being fake. And here's the twist. Healing doesn't feel like a hug at first. It feels like a burn. It feels like a spotlight on the parts people hid. That's why some people look at you with admiration and others look at you with irritation. Both reactions prove you're doing something right. You're not just light, you're a mirror. You don't fix people, you reveal them. You don't chase love, you reflect it. You don't expose their flaws, you expose their dishonesty. And maybe you're wondering, why do some people love me instantly while others act threatened? Because truth has two effects. It frees the honest and frightens the fake. The ones who have nothing to hide feel safe with you. The ones who built their identity on illusions feel exposed. You're not a trend. You're not a phase. You're the reminder that truth still exists in a world addicted to pretending. And the wildest part? You didn't force this power. You didn't ask for it. You simply became aligned, and now your presence does the talking. Realness never goes out of style. It just becomes rare. And chosen one, you're rare enough to make the whole room react. Number 5. You see through them like glass. They call you too sensitive, but they're scared because you notice what they hoped no one ever would. You're not walking around guessing. You're not overthinking. You're not imagining things. You see people the way they try not to be seen, and that alone is enough to make the wrong ones nervous. They wear masks. You read souls. They speak in half-truths. You catch the full story. They laugh to cover guilt. You hear the crack in their voice. That isn't coincidence. That's intuition sharpened by everything you survived. Imagine sitting across from someone who has spent their whole life performing. And then you look at them with eyes that feel like X-rays. They feel naked, exposed, transparent. That's your power. You feel energy before words. You sense intentions before actions. You read rooms without trying. And the people who rely on manipulation, charm, or fake confidence, they crumble when faced with someone they can't deceive. They say you're too emotional, but what they really mean is, you see too much. They call it sensitivity, but what they fear is your radar. You can sense lies wrapped in laughter. You can feel tension in silence. You can tell when someone's words don't match their energy. That's not paranoia, it's protection, it's survival, it's intuition so sharp that it cuts through illusions like a blade. And here's the funny twist. People confess things to you they've never said out loud. They spill secrets without meaning to. They tell you the truth even when it makes them uncomfortable. Why? Because something about your presence feels safe, real, unfiltered. You're not judging them, you're just seeing them. And being seen is rare. Maybe you're wondering, why do people remember me even when I barely talk? Why do strangers open up to me instantly? Because attraction isn't just looks, it's depth, it's connection, it's the feeling of being understood without translation. You're unforgettable because you don't look at the mask, you look at the soul behind it. And chosen one, that terrifies the ones who hide. Number 6, you're the mirror they've spent years avoiding. They hate you for seeing them, not for anything you actually did. You didn't expose anyone, they exposed themselves the moment they stood too close to your truth. Most people don't want to be understood, they want to be applauded, they want praise for a version of themselves they've carefully curated. But you don't buy the performance, you don't fall for their highlight reel. You see the parts they've buried, you see the potential they abandoned. You see the truth they keep running from. And that level of clarity makes you dangerous in a world built on denial. Imagine someone holding a mirror for the first time after years of avoiding their own reflection. They flinch, they look away, they blame the mirror for showing what was always there. That's what happens around you. You're a mirror wrapped in skin, reflecting honesty without saying a word. You don't manipulate. You illuminate. You don't judge. You reveal. And the truth you reveal, it hits harder than any insult ever could. They claim you're too deep, but that's the lie they tell themselves to avoid admitting they're too shallow. They say you're intimidating, but what they really mean is, you make me uncomfortable because you see who I pretend not to be. They avoid you not because you're harsh, but because your presence breaks the spell they cast over their own mind. Maybe you've wondered, why do some people pull away even though I'm kind? Why does my energy unsettle certain people? Because being around you forces them to confront the very things they've been sprinting away from. You reflect their unhealed parts, their broken promises to themselves, their unlived potential. You're unforgettable, not because you shine, but because you show people the shadows they've been hiding from. You don't threaten them, you awaken them, and not everyone is ready to wake up. Number 7. Your silence is the new warning label. They thought you cutting access was petty until they realized it was the only reason their chaos finally stopped. You didn't rewrite the rules, you finally stopped letting people violate them. That's what changed everything. You used to explain yourself until your throat burned. You used to give closure to people who caused the confusion. You used to shrink your truth so others wouldn't feel guilty. But now, your silence says every sentence you used to beg them to understand. Your boundaries didn't make you cold, they made you clear. Imagine this. A door they used to walk through without knocking suddenly requires a key they never earned. They jiggle the handle. They try the old tricks. And nothing works. That's you. You didn't block them, you changed the access code. Your energy no longer responds to manipulation, guilt, or emotional shortcuts. And trust me, that terrifies people who were addicted to your old softness. Your absence hits louder than any confrontation. It's the kind of silence that echoes, the kind that forces people to sit with themselves, the kind that exposes their patterns without you lifting a finger. They used to depend on your forgiveness like it was guaranteed. Now they're pacing, wondering why the universe suddenly stopped letting them near you. It wasn't the universe, it was your boundary. Maybe you've wondered, why do people act confused when I finally protect my peace? Because they benefited from your lack of boundaries. They weren't confused, they were comfortable. Your clarity confronts people without you speaking. Your distance teaches lessons they never wanted to learn. Your peace exposes every intention they tried to hide. You're not bitter, you're aligned. You're not distant, you're selective. You're not rude. You're done letting people waste the parts of you that took years to rebuild. Your boundaries are louder than your voice ever was. And chosen one, that clarity has become your new language. Number 8. You didn't just transform, you ignited. They thought your glow was makeup until they realized it was the part of you they tried to break and failed. They copy your style, but they can't copy the storm you survived. They wanted the aesthetic of your glow, not the war that created it. You don't look different. You are different. They thought you were just having a phase, a trend, a cute little glow-up they could replicate with filters, outfits, and rehearsed confidence. But you didn't glow up. You activated. Something inside you switched on that never existed before, and the world around you is struggling to understand it. That's because what's happening to you isn't cosmetic, it's cosmic. You didn't evolve on the outside first, you evolved on the inside. You didn't just change your look, you changed your frequency. Imagine walking out of the very fire that was supposed to destroy you, except instead of ashes, you walk out glowing. That's you. Your shine isn't about beauty. It's survival turned into radiance. It's heartbreak turned into wisdom. It's pain refined into power. Every tear you ever cried, it polished you. Every betrayal, it sharpened you. Every loss, it realigned you. You didn't glow, they just finally noticed your light. And maybe you've asked yourself, why does my presence feel heavier now? Why do people stare like they're trying to figure me out? Because you're activated, you're aligned, you're walking in clarity they can't imitate, no matter how hard they study you. People can buy your style, but they can't buy your evolution. They can copy your moves, but they can't copy your healing. They can mimic your vibe, but they'll never understand the storm that built it. Your glow is purpose in motion. It's resilience made visible. It's proof that someone can walk through darkness and still rise looking like dawn. You didn't evolve for attention. You evolved because you were chosen for a higher frequency. You're not glowing for aesthetics. You're glowing because the universe flipped your switch. Let them stare. Let them wonder. They'll never find the source of your shine because it lives where they've never gone, inside the parts of you that healed in silence. You're not here to be explained. You're here to be remembered. Number 9. Your energy enters the room before you do. They don't react to you. They react to the power you stopped apologizing for. People used to treat you like background noise, easy to overlook, easy to replace, easy to dismiss. But that version of you is long gone. Now, before you even speak, before you take a seat, before you even look in someone's direction, the room shifts. Conversations trip over themselves. Eyes flick toward you without permission. Insecure people straighten up, adjust their tone, or suddenly go quiet. That isn't intimidation. It's recognition. It's the silent acknowledgement that your energy no longer moves on their level. You didn't force this shift. You aligned into it. Your presence carries weight now, and not the kind that can be copied by acting confident or dressing louder. This is the kind of weight that comes from healing, from clarity, from refusing to be the watered-down version of yourself that others once relied on. The universe sharpened you, and now your aura does half the talking. Imagine the difference between a candle and a wildfire. A candle tries to be seen. A wildfire doesn't try, it is seen. It lights up the entire horizon without asking for permission. That's you. Quiet power, silent dominance, a glow that exposes every illusion in the room. You used to second-guess your worth, but now your energy is so grounded that even people who don't like you can't deny you. And maybe the question is whispering in your mind, why do people act so cautious around me now? Simple. Your energy is no longer cheap, no longer predictable, no longer soft in the places they used to poke. You don't laugh at what you used to tolerate. You don't entertain the disrespect you once excused. Your presence became a truth serum. People can't hide who they are when you show up. Their real motives bleed through. Their insecurities surface. Their masks crack. You're becoming unforgettable, and not because you're doing more. You're unforgettable because you finally stopped dimming yourself to make others comfortable. Your silence speaks. Your confidence hums. Your aura blocks out anything that vibrates too low. The universe didn't elevate you to look pretty. It elevated you to lead with frequency, and anyone who steps into your space now can feel it, before you even say a word. Number 10. You're no longer fed by what used to drain you. They lost power over you the moment you stopped craving what they withheld. You used to live on emotional leftovers. You used to let people feed you crumbs and convince you it was a full meal. You used to accept half love, half effort, half respect, like that was all you were allowed to have. But that version of you is gone. Now the bare minimum doesn't just disappoint you, it disgusts you. Anything that once drained you doesn't even tempt you anymore. Your soul rejects it like poison. You outgrew the emotional diet that kept you weak and dependent, and the wildest part? You didn't even do it loud. You evolved quietly. You chose yourself quietly. You walked away quietly. But the impact? Deafening. Imagine drinking dirty water for so long that you forgot what clean water tasted like. Then one day you finally get a sip of clarity, real clarity. Suddenly the dirt, the bitterness, the toxins become obvious. That's you. You didn't just glow up. You snapped out of a spell. You woke up from a long sleep where you mistook struggle for love and chaos for passion. You realized your soul had been starving while you kept feeding it scraps. And now that you've tasted alignment, you'd rather go without than go backward. And trust me, they notice. They notice you don't fall for their tricks anymore. They notice you don't respond with the same desperation. They notice that your silence hits harder than your anger ever did. They notice that the emotional buttons they used to push don't exist anymore. And maybe this question creeps into your mind. Why does peace feel so powerful now? Because peace isn't weakness. It's clarity wearing armor. It's the moment you finally stop confusing chaos with connection. It's emotional maturity stepping onto the battlefield and winning without swinging. It's understanding you don't need drama to feel alive. You don't need toxicity to feel wanted. You don't need to prove your worth to people who never saw it. You're no longer hungry for the things that hurt you. You're no longer craving the validation that drained you. You're no longer addicted to the highs and crashes of people who couldn't love you without conditions. Your energy is cleaner now, sharper, untouchable. And that shift scares the hell out of anyone who benefited from your self-neglect. The moment you chose yourself, they lost access to the version of you who tolerated anything. They lost access to the version of you who forgave too quickly. They lost access to the version of you who gave without receiving. Now they're dealing with the upgraded version, the one aligned with self-worth instead of self-sacrifice. Imagine someone who once controlled you like a puppet suddenly realizing the strings aren't attached anymore. That's why they act confused. That's why they act bothered. They're witnessing a version of you they hoped would never exist. The version that doesn't need them. The version that doesn't collapse without their attention. The version that finally knows their own value. Peace feels powerful because it's yours. You earned it. You bled for it. You healed for it. And now you protect it like treasure. You've become someone who won't trade clarity for company. Someone who won't trade healing for history. Someone who won't trade self-respect for temporary comfort. Your glow now? It's not cosmetic. It's consequence. It's what happens when someone stops begging for love and starts becoming love. It's what happens when someone stops accepting pain disguised as connection. It's what happens when someone stops letting others drain them and starts pouring back into themselves. And that glow, your new glow, it terrifies the ones who counted on you staying wounded. They're not scared of losing you. They're scared of you realizing they were never worth losing yourself for. You're no longer fed by what once drained you. You're nourished by peace now. And that shift, that's what makes you truly magnetic. Number 11. You became the standard they can't reach. They wanted access to you until they realized access comes with accountability. Let's cut through the noise, chosen one. You didn't just level up. You didn't just heal. You became the benchmark, the standard, the comparison point nobody warned them about. People used to treat you like you were replaceable, like they could walk away and stumble into someone better by tomorrow. Now look at them. Scrolling, lurking, replaying memories in their head, realizing the truth they refused to face. You weren't the option. You were the exception. Imagine someone trying to replace sunlight with a lamp. That's them now. They turn the bulb brighter, louder, hotter, but it never hits the way the sun does. Your glow isn't surface level. It's not makeup, not style, not trend. Your glow is character. It's soul. It's the frequency of someone who survived storms and came back shining. That's the kind of light that can't be duplicated. And maybe you've caught yourself wondering, why do people come back once I move on? Because you became the version of yourself they thought they could find somewhere else. But they didn't. And deep down, they know they never will. You're not the one that got away. You're the one they fumbled. And karma has a sense of humor. Your evolution isn't intimidation, it's correction. The universe got tired of watching you shrink to fit into places that were too small for your soul. It pulled you up, refined you, sharpened you, and now your standards match your worth. You don't beg for effort anymore, you require it. You don't tolerate disrespect, you end it. You don't accept half love, you delete it. Imagine them standing at the bottom of a staircase you climbed quietly. They want the view you earned, but not the steps you took. That's why they stare from below, pretending they don't care, while every part of them aches with the truth. You set a standard they can't rise to. You didn't evolve to make them feel small. You evolved because staying small was killing you. And now, anyone who can't level up gets left behind, because you're no longer competing, you're leading. 12. You're living proof that beauty is energy. They judged your surface and missed the fire that would one day burn through their illusions. You didn't become attractive because you changed your hair, your clothes, your routine, or your angle in the mirror. Your glow didn't come from a filter or a trend. It came from something they never bothered to look at. The part of you they dismissed, doubted, or tried to dull. Your beauty isn't on your face. It's in your frequency. It's the energy of someone who survived storms most people would have drowned in. Yet here you are, shining like the sun, climbed into your chest and refused to leave. People stare now because they can feel you before they see you. Your aura arrives 5 seconds ahead of your body. It shifts the atmosphere. It changes the temperature of a room. It forces people to look, then look again, then pretend they weren't looking at all. And maybe it confuses you sometimes. Maybe you catch yourself wondering, why do people study me like they're trying to decode something? Simple. You've become something rare, someone aligned, someone honest, someone who didn't fold under pressure but pressed back hard enough to burst into a new version of themselves. Imagine a gemstone buried in dirt for years. People walk over it, step on it, overlook it, maybe even mock it for being nothing special. But once the dirt is brushed away, once the layers that hid its brilliance are gone, suddenly everyone wants to claim it, praise it, touch it. That's you. Your glow wasn't created, it was revealed. The pressure you survived didn't make you pretty, it made you powerful. And it hits people different because it isn't surface-level beauty. It's survival made visible. It's resilience wearing light. It's truth showing up as attractiveness. The storms you went through didn't soften you. They sculpted you. They didn't destroy your heart. They purified it. They didn't break you. They burned away everything that wasn't you. What's left is so clean, so sharp, so undeniable that people don't even know how to describe it. Maybe another question crosses your mind. Why does my presence feel heavier now? Why do people look at me with confusion, interest, or tension? Because they're not looking at your face. They're sensing your frequency. They're reacting to something deeper than looks, something raw, something real, something they can't copy no matter how hard they try. Beauty is energy, and your energy is louder than your voice, louder than your steps, louder than any compliment anyone could give you. It's the kind of beauty that doesn't fade when the makeup comes off, the kind that doesn't depend on angles or lighting, the kind that lives in your presence, your aura, your awareness, your healed parts. People judged you before because they only saw the surface. They didn't see the fire beneath. They didn't see the chapters you walked through alone. They didn't see the nights you spent rebuilding your spirit. They didn't see the tears, the lessons, the heartbreaks that turned into fuel. They didn't see the way the universe was polishing you slowly, painfully, deliberately. Now your glow hits them like truth. Now your presence feels like revelation. Now your aura shows them everything they failed to appreciate when they had the chance. You're not glowing to impress anyone. You're glowing because you activated, because you stepped into the version of yourself that was waiting behind your healing, because the universe elevated you to a level where your beauty isn't something people see, it's something they feel. And that's why you'll always stand out. Not because you're trying to, but because energy like yours can't be hidden anymore. And now, chosen one, after everything we've uncovered, you can feel it, can't you? That shift in your chest, that pressure in your aura, that certainty that you were never ordinary. You're activated, aligned, undeniable, and the world is already reacting. So before you go, hit that like button, subscribe to stay locked in with this energy, drop 777 in the comments to seal your elevation, and share this message with another chosen one who needs the reminder. Your rise is already happening. Own it.